Pro.
Setting goals and why they're important on today's Traffic Domination podcast with Rob the Reese Beast along with Wayne the Wolverine Crow. What's going on, Wolverine? How's it going today, my friend?
That's stuck. That haven't. It's no getting rid of that now.
No getting rid of that. No getting rid of it whatsoever.
It does sound better than Wayne Batman.
Maybe on the next episode we would have picked another one, but for now it is the Wolverine, and we got to add like some type of sound effect with the Wolverine in the background saying something crazy.
Okay.
Actually, one of my favorite Marvel characters is Wolverine.
Yeah.
To be honest, he's literally like the most badass dude that there is. He's got like metal claws that come out of his fingers. It's cool all around. But setting goals is not the Wolverine from Marvel's greatest asset, but that's exactly the greatest asset that the entrepreneur has. So setting goals. How important is it, and what does that really mean? What does that really look like for the aspiring entrepreneur?
Yeah. So the importance. Why do we need to set goals? We're going through this at the minute. One of my goals is to do with Warrior Plus, for example. Okay. And every decision we make is based around that goal. Okay. So that is what a goal does. It you set the goals and you work towards those goals. So they should be. I mean, we talked about this before, the SMART objectives. We talked about that, but we'll talk about how you set the goals and choosing your goals in a minute. But the goals should be everything you work towards. They should be your guide and light in whatever situation you're in. You should always think, how does this situation bring me closer to that goal? How does this decision take me closer to that goal? So that's constantly what I think when we're faced with a decision. Like twice a week, I have a meeting with different teams. Okay, so I make sure I have 2 meetings a week with each team, and it's always on those calls a decision comes up. This didn't work, but this looks like it might. Should we do it? If it aligns with our goals, then yes, it should. So that is the importance of goals. They really do motivate or kind of give you that target to aim for. Now, if we talk about how you set goals and realistic goals, if we talk about the SMART objective, so they've got to be specific. Okay, so when you set a goal, it has to be a very, very specific goal. So how do I make $1,000 per day with this technique, for example? So they have to be very specific, because when they're specific, they become measurable. Does that make sense? So they become measurable in $1,000. That's measurable. You know exactly when you hit it. So you start putting the stuff in place so you can measure it. So in my case,
that's right. That's right. Yeah. When you actually are putting forth a goal that is so specific, where it's okay, you know what? I want to have this many subscribers to my YouTube channel in this much of time, you're actually able to track to see your results over that course of time once that time comes up. So if you say I need this in the next 60 days, you can see exactly what you were doing to help you get there, and then of course it'll help you not only to continue to set your goals, but also create more of an attainable goal result, if you will, if you're able to measure it like that. So it sounds like first off, you need to set a very specific one, and of course track it. It sounds like.
Yeah. Third one is making sure it's attainable. And the perfect example of this is about 3 years ago, I done a YouTube video on how I'm going to be making $300,000 per month. At the time, I was doing six figures, but that was too big a goal to be doing 300,000 mums. And what happens when you don't reach that goal? You get demotivated, your stress levels increase, you work in the wrong kind of way to reach the goal. So it has to be an attainable goal. So if you're new to email marketing, let's say it could be, I want to reach my first 1,000 subscribers. So it has to be an attainable goal that is not so far away that you're never going to reach it. You know, it's unrealistic, or so small that it doesn't push it. All these goals have to kind of push you into the next level, into learning what you need to learn, into creating what, like we talked about before, creating the discipline, or networking with the right people. They've got to force you to level up, but not force you to level up 10 times when you can only level up once. So have to be attainable.
Yeah, I mean, I know that I've personally suffered from making goals that are just unrealistic in the beginning, and you have to be realistic in goal setting, because if you're not, like you said, you're going to get unmotivated, you're going to get distracted, you're also going to get discouraged, and then guess what? It's very easy at that point to end up failing and giving up. I know that's really the reason why a lot of people in our industry end up failing, is because they don't set attainable goals for themselves, or at least they don't set an attainable goal in a reasonable amount of time. It's not a reasonable thing to say, I want to become a millionaire in 3 weeks. It's just not possible unless you hit the lotto. But if you say, you know what, in 5-7 years I want to be a millionaire, and then you chop it down from there, you create micro goals, if you will, in order to get the levels, the steps in that ladder in place, because you're not going to jump 3 steps on a ladder. You'll likely fall from doing that. You have to take each step one logical step at a time, and when you chunk it up that way, it does create a more attainable, realistic goal that goes in progression rather than regression. So what's the next step in creating goals, Wayne?
The next one, when we stick to the SMART
Model.
technique, the SMART model, which is, I was taught this in management school when I've done management courses, is make sure it's relevant. So if you're building an email list, set it for a number of subscribers. Don't think about building an email list and set it for, let's say YouTube's one of the traffic sources. Don't set it for YouTube likes, because that's completely, you can't, it's irrelevant pretty much to how many subscribers you're going to get. So set it so it's really relevant around your goal, really relevant to your niche, to even your being. So make it hyper relevant to what your goals, to what the whole goal is.
Yeah, I never understood why people are focused on certain metrics when it has nothing to do with what it is that you're looking for. I know that people are looking for more email subscribers, and eventually they're looking for more dollars. And then they end up doing things that are completely irrelevant, that are not going to help them make more money doing that particular thing. They end up spending all of their time on technical minutia that really they have no business getting themselves involved with. They're trying to learn code and all of these things, when none of that really matters. What matters is what's going to be the closest and less resistance to the end result, and all of those things are nice little add-ons, but have literally no realistic effect on what you're trying to accomplish. Those are more of prettying up the doll, if you will. That's a saying that we have, is you're trying to pretty up the doll, but it's still a doll. It's not a real thing. It's not something that's going to help improve what it is. You're not going to make the doll look real by putting some makeup on it. It's still a piece of plastic, and unless you utilize it for its purposes, it's not going to get you to where you need to go.
Exactly.
So being relevant in what you are trying to accomplish is huge when it comes to setting your goals, because if it's not, it's gonna just hinder you from achieving your goals. Now, the SMART model, I know the SMART model. This is kind of the most famous model when it comes to goal setting. We're on the T. What does the T stand for?
The T is for time bound, and that's a big one where people, not just in goals, but across everything, fail to do. It keeps you, so when you set a time to something, let's say, well, I want to achieve this, again, it has to be realistic. It can't be 3 weeks, or I'll be millionaire, for example. It has to be dead realistic. Say in 30 days, I want to have 3,000 YouTube subscribers, for example. So that gives you a time frame to work towards. It gives you the motivation. It starts to make you think, right, how do I get there in that time? And it really does focus all your efforts in that time. It gives you that urgency that you need. Without that urgency, and I see it all the time, people do not give themselves deadlines, so they just kind of pitter-patter around it without really attacking it, without really kind of having that focus that they need. That, for example, having the routine we talked about, now you need a routine for the next 30 days. It's going to laser target around the goal, because your goal is relevant, specific. You've used a SMART model, and you know exactly what your goal is, and you've got to reach it by this day. Everything then becomes molded around that goal. So being time bound is probably one of the most important for me, and that's in any business.
And guess what? And guess what ends up happening too when you set yourself up for a time frame that you want to accomplish it? You are actually going to be challenging yourself to get things done in an appropriate amount of time, so that you actually are getting closer to your goal. The more you're measuring this stuff, the more likely you are to actually not only want to achieve these things, but the more likely you are to actually achieve these things, because you'll be able to actually see it on paper. You're going to look on your plan. You're going to look on the goals and the things that you're doing to achieve your goals. And when you realize that you're getting closer and closer and closer, that alone will drive and propel you for so much of that journey that you're going to want to do everything in your power to beat your own time goal. If you set it up for 60, 90 days out and you are achieving your goal in 45 days, you're going to be not only so motivated, but you're going to actually, like we talked about in one of our previous podcasts, you're going to be so disciplined to continue on that trajectory. And now this is creating new habits in you. This new habit that you have is going to develop new results. These results are going to keep you going. They're going to keep you motivated. And it's going to continue to go. It's in a circle here to where it's going to feed all of those positive traits, all of those positive behaviors, so that you continue on that path. And guess what happens at the end of that? You're going to be more successful. You're going to be a rock star in whatever you're doing, and you're going to kick butt at everything you set your mind to. With that type of an attitude, with that type of a result, you're going to see new heights in your business that you've never seen before. I know that recently, because this has happened to myself, once I started hitting my goal of X amount of emails per day because I wanted to make X amount of dollars, and then I started seeing those X amount of dollars, I gave myself a particular time frame to hit that in, and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, now I've got to make sure that I'm really tight on my schedule. I got to make sure I'm kicking out everything that is not helping me in these areas, and now I am not only getting so much stuff done, but the things that I am wanting to achieve, I'm actually achieving. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So, Wayne, I know that this was all part of a build up on your thing that you're building out. Give us a little bit more details as to what you're building out for the audience, so that they can see part of this entire journey of how it's going to help them in their business.
So let's talk about goals. The reason we're talking about goals is because we've set a goal inside the 30-day email hacks. Okay, so it's a journey to take someone from fairly new or even intermediate all the way through, and we've set a goal for them to achieve in that first 30 days, which is 1,000 subscribers in the first 30 days. So it's a goal that pretty much everyone will achieve. If they follow the course, if they follow the discipline we set out, we give them the goals, and they really structure everything around it, they can achieve it. And the beauty is, once they reach that goal, what are they going to do? They're going to set a new goal. And that new goal could be 10,000 subscribers, 25, 50,000 subscribers. And then the next goal, because of course, once you've finished one goal, you don't just stop, you make a long-term goal, or you reset your goal to a bigger one. And then the next goal might be, I want to make my first $10,000, $20,000 per month. So we've set specific goals for the people. We're even going to reward them with a badge and this type of stuff to make them feel like they've achieved something. That's another thing with goals. When you reach the goal, you have to celebrate. You have to reward yourself, because you'll get that kind of dopamine hit. You'll feel great, and you'll want that feeling again. If you get to a goal and you don't reward yourself, the next goal you set yourself, you're going to be a bit less motivated to reach, because it's just reaching another goal. And what does that bring? Nothing. If it's a monetary goal, that's easy. I want to earn $20,000 in this amount of time. You can reward yourself with a car, for example. That's always important to reward yourself. So that is everything we do. We want to build the importance of goal setting, the importance of understanding why goals are important, and give people realistic goals that fit the SMART model. So all their thoughts, all of their kind of everything they do is centered towards that one goal.
You know, rewarding yourself is a huge part of this, because if there's no payoff for all of this work that you're putting in, it doesn't matter. The payoff is what makes it, and of course you want to make sure that you have attainable, realistic payoffs and rewards for your achievements. I know for myself, Wayne, that one of the rewards I give myself is I let my wife scratch my belly, like petting a dog, and my leg shakes.
Okay. Nice.
But no, for real. I mean, it could be something as simple as giving yourself a day off or something. It could be going away for the weekend with your family. It could be something that is tangible, that is realistic, and that you're actually going to enjoy. That's a very big part of this entire journey, is being able to enjoy the fruits of your labor, and part of that is the rewards that you receive in conjunction with getting things that you want done, that is moving you forward in your business. Anything else, Wayne, that you want to give as wisdom when it comes to setting goals?
Not really, mate. There's tons of material out there on setting goals, and when you think about what separates the highly successful business people, it's all of the things we talk about. It's all the things that are included in courses and everything else. It's really important to start doing them. It's not just a case of listening to a podcast and then forgetting about it, or doing a course and forget about it. It's really important to immerse yourself in this kind of mindset stuff. It's there for a reason. It's there because successful people do this stuff and it's proven to work. So really start changing and adopting these things and watch the difference in yourself.
So here is homework for you guys listening to the Traffic Domination Podcast. Go ahead and grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, write down 5 goals that you have for this next coming week. Just start with simple 5 goals. If you have only 3, write down 3, but write them down, and then from there, write out how in the world are you going to achieve that, whether that's add 100 people to your list, whether that's get 50 more subscribers on your YouTube, whether that is creating 5 videos to upload on YouTube. How exactly are you going to achieve those things? Write it down, plan out exactly how you're going to achieve it, and go ahead and do it. Without doing it, you're not going to see any of those goals come to fruition. So guys, thank you so much for listening once again to Traffic Domination. Check us out on all of the podcast catchers, iTunes, Stitcher, Google. You can catch us on all of those platforms, along with, don't forget to join us inside of our free Facebook group. This is absolutely a great place for you guys to immerse yourself around like-minded people who are achieving their goals so that you can achieve yours as well. But until next time, guys, thank you so much. This is Rob Reese, the Beast, along with Wayne, the Wolverine Crow. We are out this week. Take it easy, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.